What is this? I found the site! Let me tell my supervisor.
Breaking news. A fossil site in SU Island has been discovered. It is said that it contains fossils that are dated to 200 BC. Construction work is expected to be carried out in the site for a time period of a year. Many tourists are expected to be arriving at SU Island and is expected to be a very good hotspot. Thank you. Oh my god, there's a new fossil site. I need to go check it out.
Oh, what's this? There's a new fossil site in the town. I need to check it out.
Hey, faster leh!
Why is there so many people? There's so much traffic.
Oh! I got asthma, bro!
The pollution is too much, man. It's too stinky. It's too noisy, bruh. News has just come in that although the fossil site finding is good, people are still complaining about the quality of their life. Hence, a group has entered the realm. They're going to model how the discovery of this site is influencing the quality of life, more specifically the life index. By identifying key contributing factors and constructing mathematical models, they seek to quantify this relationship and evaluate the overall impact of the whole thing. Thank you. And that is the reality on the ground. Welcome to our 1D project presentation. I'm Afzal, and together with Lokesh, Shixiao, Laura, and Russell, we spent the last few weeks diving deep into the intersection of archaeology and urban planning. Our project, modeling the impact of fossil site discovery on quality of life, isn't just about old bones. It's about the mathematical heartbeat of a community in transition. As you saw in our opening scenes, the discovery of a fossil site is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have a massive economic engine tourism, local business growth, and global prestige. But on the other, you have the immediate physical disturbances that hit the people living right next door. We aren't here to just talk about vibes. Our aim is to quantify this by identifying key contributing factors like noise and air quality and constructing rigorous mathematical models. We seek to evaluate the life index and determine exactly how much the ancient discovery cost the modern resident. Now that you've seen the discovery in our skit, let's look at the formal problems. We're investigating how a single geographic point, like the fossil site, creates a ripple effect across the island. Specifically, we want to know how the quality of life index, or Q, fluctuates across the x and y coordinates. We aren't just guessing, we're trying to measure the trade-off between the excitement of a historical find and the literal headaches of noise, pollution, and traffic. To model this, we had to define our ecosystem. Our anchor is the independent variable, distance d. Think of d as the source of the blast. This distance directly dictates our three intermediate variables: A for air pollution, N for noise in decibels, and T for traffic intensity. As our slide says, it's perfectly balanced. If we know how far a resident is from the site, our model can easily predict exactly which disturbances they are fighting against, eventually spitting out our final Q value. Mathematics is the art of simplification. To make this model work, we established a static environment. We assumed that the fossil site is an isolated disturbance, meaning no other factories or highways are interfering with our data. We also treat the terrain as perfectly flat, where noise and dust are spread in perfect circles, ignoring wind or buildings. Finally, we use a standard resident profile. While some people might sleep through an entire rock concert, our model assumes that everyone has a uniform sensitivity to these changes to keep our index consistent. Now, let's dive into the curves. If you look at our noise graph, we use a logarithmic model. Why? Because sound energy dissipates rapidly at first. If you move from 10 to maybe 100 meters, the relief is massive. But moving from like 1000 meters to 1100 meters is barely noticeable. Our pollution model follows an exponential decay. This reflects how particles settle quickly near the source. These aren't just random lines. They are fitted to represent the physical reality of how disturbances fade into the background of the island. This slide is where the impact becomes clear. We mapped each factor against the Q index. You'll notice the negative gradients across the board. For noise, the correlation is a perfect 1. And for air pollution, it's nearly -1. This proves our hypothesis. As the environmental cost goes up, the human quality goes down in a predictable and linear fashion. This allowed us to build the final composite model you will see next. Now, this is the heart of our 1D project, the integrated quality of life model. By nesting our distance-based decay functions inside our quality of life formulas, we've created a master equation. The takeaway is clear. Because of the logarithmic and exponential nature of the disturbances, the Q index recovers most significantly within the first few hundred meters. This steep recovery means that even a small buffer zone around the fossil site can exponentially protect the quality of life for the majority of the residential population. Now, reflecting on our work, our model is highly structured and reflects realistic physical behaviors like decay. However, we have to stay grounded. In a real-world scenario, wind would blow towards one specific neighborhood, or a tall building might block the noise for another. We also haven't accounted for economic benefits in this specific index. We are purely measuring the disturbance cost. Although it's an approximation, it provides a solid mathematical framework for any urban planner looking at a new excavation site. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and I hope you enjoyed our script. Have a nice day.